Hello, everyone. My name is Victor, and welcome to another episode of The Average Unformed. How are you guys doing? It's been a while since we last spoke. This week, Josh and I will be giving our lovely thoughts on the movies Unbreakable and Split, both of which I somehow managed to miss, but with glass hitting theaters, I figured I should cross those off my list. Anyways, here we go, and enjoy. But, then as you go.
You said butt.
It's similar to behind.
Yeah.
How you feeling over there, Josh?
I'm all right.
Yeah?
Do I look not all right?
No, I'm just usually like you get all toasty by the end of the podcast.
That's true. But it's usually because of the hard liquor.
Hmm.
Mm. Mm.
Oh, so I went to EB Games the other day.
It is EB Games and not GameStop. We couldn't
It's
decide a few episodes ago.
It was actually EB Games because it was a ghetto one.
Oh, isn't that interesting? Someone was right and someone was not.
Who was it?
I'd rather not say.
Yeah, it was probably me.
It's embarrassing for the person who was wrong.
Was it you?
Hmm?
It's probably you.
Mm.
But they tried to they gave me like they have a membership or rewards program. They have like a regular, they have a silver and a gold, I think. Anyways, they're like, "Oh, would you apply for the gold or premium membership?" I was like, sure, I guess. I don't plan on buying a lot of games this year. I
Mm.
don't usually. But I asked him like, well, what do you get with this? He was listing off things. The toys, merchandise, strategy books, clothes. So I was like, so nothing that I would actually buy here, like video games. It's like, oh, you got discounts on the used games. I was like, but
So does everybody.
okay, pretty sure they're already discounted. That's the whole point of your store. He's like, yeah, no, you don't get anything on pre-orders, no like replica model kits, and no new releases.
So what do you get? Nothing good.
Nothing good.
Cool story, bro.
Why do you even have that program? Who's taking advantage of this program?
There's a very specific type of person who takes advantage of that program.
Anyways, hello Josh. How are you?
You know what, Victor? I'm doing just okay.
Just okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Oh,
How you doing, big guy?
I am toasty. I am warm.
You
I'm ready to
toasty?
like take my pants off here in a second.
Please do. You want to get into some news?
Yeah, hit me.
Good news, Victor.
Uh-huh.
Deadpool is remaining rated R.
Nice. But is it still Ryan Reynolds?
I don't know.
Oh.
Probably.
I don't know if you can have a Deadpool with a Ryan Reynolds.
Like, why would you even try?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, anytime that I see Deadpool anywhere, like, it's so, like, Deadpool is such a specific, he flirts with the line between being hilarious and annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Ryan Reynolds is the only one who has really perfected towing that line.
Yeah.
Because anytime you've seen Deadpool in anything else, you're just like, oh my gosh, just shut up. I like, because you can get away with it in the comics because you can read it at your own pace and you can read it in your own inflection and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm. So it's more so the delivery, not necessarily the actual script
yeah,
itself.
yeah.
Mm.
It's also like, I've been at enough fan expos where people think they're hilarious as Deadpool that it's just like, no, you're not Ryan Reynolds. Shut up.
Maybe I have a bias, but maybe it's just most cosplayers that try to be their characters a bit too much. It bothers me.
Maybe. I don't know. That's the thing about cosplaying too, is like people aren't good at being the character personality wise, but then there's also the people who are like not at all the same body type as the person they're cosplaying as.
I don't
And
know if that makes too much of a difference.
to me it does. Unless it's like you're purposely like, hey, I'm fat Spider-Man or whatever. Like for me, I'm a bit of a bigger guy. So if I was to ever cosplay, I would try to pick a character who would fit that body type. I would be like Dr. Octopus or something like that.
Wait, you can't even be the new Doctor Octopus. He's basically a Spider-Man clone at this point.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
So
same.
I can't even do the modern version, so I'd have to be
You have to be old
60s
school.
version.
Yeah, with the bowl cut.
Or I could go Spider-Man too. Have my shirt open, just wear a trench coat and nothing else. Well,
No,
maybe
you,
some pants.
you have to do the bowl
I
cut.
think you have to do pants if they're gonna let you into the fan expo. But
Just do a strap.
a strap?
You know the sling where you can put your balls and
A
junk
banana
in.
hammock?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah?
It's just like a bikini, but it's only on like the one strap on the one side.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, I saw one when I was out east this year,
Like on
last year,
someone or like
on
in a
someone.
st
Yeah,
Ooh.
it was very like mesmerizing. Like, how is he? playing volleyball and nothing's falling
More like, why are people playing volleyball with him?
out?
Like that to me, if someone comes up to you wearing that and they're like, "Hey man, do you mind if I join your volleyball game?" The answer is always no.
Oh, really? I'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's see what happens.
No, I don't
That
wanna
takes balls, man. I mean, yeah.
clearly.
Be like, yeah, man, you're on my team. Fuck yeah. You got balls, you're probably fucking badass at this game.
Well, what does the back look like? Is it a thong
It's a
back?
thong.
Yeah, so I don't want him on my team unless he's, like, behind, like, he's always serving.
Well, I'd rather him be in front of me, facing away from me, than him in front of me, facing me.
I'd rather him not play at all, to be honest. It's just like, you know what? If you're gonna wear that, you can just sunbathe. Maybe not any physical activity, any kind of jostling or sudden movements. Maybe just go in
Anything.
the water.
Anyways, news.
News. Wow, that got off the rails.
Yeah,
Avengers Endgame is probably gonna stick to that 3-hour time frame.
that's not a surprise. Is
Yeah,
that
so they're even I don't know if it's true or not, but there's rumors that they're even gonna have an intermission.
you know what? They should.
Probably, right?
Mhm.
'Cause, like, even if you don't feel that people need one, there's always someone who can't hold it for the whole 3 hours,
Yeah.
and they're always walking right in front of me.
Mhm.
So,
Well, for like what, you lose like what, 3 seconds of screen time?
of them walking in front of me,
Yeah.
it just pulls you out of the movie, right? Like, if the whole point of the theater is that you're just mesmerized by the screen, that you forget that you're watching a movie and you're just involved with it,
Next to
and then
Captain
some
America.
guy walks in front of you and you go like, "Oh, yeah, I'm watching a movie," and then you're out of it and you lose that,
Hmm.
enthrallment.
That's never been a thought for me.
Yeah. Well, that's
Interesting.
why I like movies more than you. That doesn't make any
I don't
sense.
know if that's true.
Anyway, moving on.
Oh, Take Two, the original creator for Dead Space, is working on a new game.
What's that?
They just announced it. It was just like, oh, we're making a new game. It's the same guy that made Dead Space.
Uh-huh.
So,
And he's making a new game.
a new game, like a new IP. So
Mm.
that's exciting.
That is
People are
exciting.
rumors are going to be or rumors are that it's going to be another horror survival,
Mhm.
most likely set in space.
Okay, so I don't follow game development that often. So how long will it be till you actually see anything from it? Or would it
Mm,
be like, oh, I've been working on something for the past 3 years?
yeah, it could vary. Like Devil May Cry 5, they was announced, and then they immediately showed like a demo and a bunch of trailers for it.
Oh, okay.
So, but from the sounds of it, it sounds like it's going to be at least a year.
I mean, that's better than like, hey, we're making a game. See you in 5 years. Like who's the guy who does Metal Gear Solid?
Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
he's been working on that Norman Reedus game for like how long?
I don't know, probably
Like
like
back when
3
Norman
years.
Reedus was popular? Like, Why the Last Man? Have you ever read that?
No, I hear a lot of good things about it though.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of it right now. I'm reading it. But apparently it was picked up by FX for a series.
Live action series or a cartoon?
Live action.
Son of a bitch.
Why you don't want it live action?
One other animated like cartoon to watch,
Okay.
and I feel like Last Man would have benefited from that because like
Uh,
large set pieces of like empty worlds.
I guess so, but you can pretty much do that. Like Walking Dead, like they did that
Yeah, but
on
so
the
much of it
budget.
takes place indoors or like in a forest.
I guess so.
I feel like why the like I don't know. I've read a little bit about it, but like most of it taking place in like you see a lot of like the deserted world, right?
Yes, for at the beginning of it, it's kind of like chaos in the city, but it's a road story, so it's a lot of empty fields and stuff
Mm.
as they travel. Anyway, if those of you listening don't know the premise of that comic book, it's for whatever reason, there is a epidemic where all the men die in the world just all at the same moment. So all that's left is women, except for one guy named Yorick and his pet monkey Ampersand.
Of course, the guy with a monkey.
Yeah, and then so it's, they're the only males left on the planet Earth, and so it's just them living in this world, and he's hooked up with a secret agent who is trying to get him across country so that they can start researching on how to clone him and, like, how to
What, they don't like inbreeding?
no, and then so his whole thing too is that he has a girlfriend, so he's, like, trying not to sleep with other women and stuff,
Mm.
so
Baby, it's for the rest of the human civilization. You
yeah,
don't have to do this.
it's actually really interesting to read. It came out I don't know how many years ago, but it's
At least a
before,
decade
like, the
ago.
whole the future is female movement that's been happening.
Yeah.
So it's kind of poignant that it's happening now on TV. Yeah, it's a really good read. I really recommend it. Brian K.
Yeah.
Vaughan wrote it.
Has he done anything else I would know?
Yep.
Good.
Can't remember off the top of my head. Victor,
Mm-hmm.
it's time for your favorite segment.
I don't know
It's
if
a
I.
Dune update.
Okay.
Play the music.
Do we have?
So Victor,
Uh huh.
Javier Bardem,
I don't know what that is.
okay, is going to play Stilgar. You know, the leader of the Fremen?
Nope. Don't know what that is either.
Yeah. So they are in charge of the sandworms.
Oh, I know what those are.
Yeah. So he's gonna play him. Super Bowl happened this weekend, Victor.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did. A lot of people were upset about the game.
Yeah,
It's like,
because the Patriots won.
no, because, well, yeah, the Patriots won, obviously. A lot of people don't like the Patriots, which is fine. I don't know. I'm not a huge
People don't
fan.
like winners.
I think they've won, like since 2001. I think they've won.
6 times altogether, isn't it?
Is it six? I thought it was more than that.
I think it's because people were joking that Tom Brady now has 6 rings.
Yeah.
So he as the quarterback has at least won 6. So it could be more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't follow sports.
Me neither. But no, people were saying complaining because I think the final score was 13-3,
Oh,
which
really?
is
It was that low?
yeah. But like I don't know. I like when you have teams with good defense.
Sure.
This is it's good back and forth.
Who are they playing? The
Oh shit! I'm trying to think.
Tobamori Ninjas?
Yep, that's definitely not it.
The
I
Cape
can't remember.
Breton Brain Candies?
It was what?
The Acapulco Alpacas?
Oh, it was the Rams.
Oh, that means everything to
Yes,
me.
the LA Rams.
Anyway, the more important thing for us to talk about, there were some trailers during the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah. Actually, this was the first year that I watched them like
Live?
as they've shown. It
Well,
was
good for
cool.
you.
Yeah, it was
Good
cool.
for you.
People were like super pumped about the Captain Marvel one.
Really?
Yeah.
That was kind of lackluster to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
But what did you think of it, Victor?
It was nice. It was good. It basically brought all the good things I liked about the previous trailers and kind of like kicked up a little bit. The
Yeah,
higher,
I
further,
think
faster thing. Really like that.
oh, I didn't really like that.
Oh, good.
It sounded cheesy,
You're
but
cheesy.
it made me feel uncomfortable. Like I'm embarrassed for you. You know what I
Mm.
mean? But yeah, I think at this point I'm just like I just want to watch the movie. Like you don't need to give
hmm
me any more new footage or anything like that. Um,
Yeah, they're almost pulling a Sony on this, showing way
yeah.
too much.
Yeah. But anyway, that one was okay.
Yeah.
Was there any other ones that you saw that you liked?
I don't know. Maybe there was one about the Avengers.
You know what is funny? There are times when I'm like, you know what? I think I'm kind of growing out of being a geek. And then I get really excited about 40 seconds of nothing.
Yeah, again, they're really like keeping shit under wraps with that. Like
Yeah.
was it only like 40 seconds?
Something like that.
Yeah, like less than a minute, but like they, even though the last show, they didn't show anything. Like
No.
what story related clip have you seen?
There's one part where Cap is trying to clean his gums while he's sitting down in a group home.
Uh huh. Yeah, I don't
So
know if
that's
that's.
story related. I think maybe he gets some plaque or like maybe
Is he
get some
using his
lettuce
shield to
leaf stuck
scrape it
between
off?
his teeth. See that's what they don't show you. It is a scene right beforehand. He goes to speak and it's just like, I'm sorry. Is it Steve? You got some lettuce right in the middle of your teeth there, and then
He's
he
thinking to
does the
himself,
whole
he's like, I didn't fucking have lettuce. Fuck this guy.
I only drink protein powder. What else happened in it?
They showed off that Rocket and Groot are still on Earth, still kicking around.
Rocket is. Groot
Yeah.
Groot died, Victor.
Whatever.
Don't bring
There's a
that
bunch
up.
of trees in the background. I can't tell them apart. They all look the same.
You racist son of a gun. Um,
Looks like he's wearing like a more traditional Guardians costume too.
yeah, like from the Abnett and Lanning
Sure. Let's
run,
call it that.
the newer run that he's
Yeah.
wearing with he's got that like that almost like naval outfit,
Mm-hmm.
sort of like with the breast that
That
buttons
flaps
over.
over. Yeah.
Yeah, the flap and the gloves.
and then they show off Tony's with Nebula building something.
Yeah, very reminiscent of Iron Man 1,
Mm-hmm.
except for there's a blue alien chick there instead of Jensen.
No, basically the same.
Yeah. At the end of it, she's like, "No, no, I wanted this. I wanted this. I'm going to
Stick
see
to the
my family
plan.
now."
Stick to the plan. But yeah, outside of that, you see what Cap put a shield on.
Yeah, that's nice. That's
Yeah,
nice.
like there's nothing that fucking happened in that.
No. I mean, it's so funny though because it's 40 seconds and hey, we're talking about it on our podcast, but also it's just like the next day, just the amount of YouTube videos of just like 7 things you missed in the 40 seconds. And it's just like nothing. You didn't miss anything. It's like
Did you see Rocket was in it? Yep. Everyone saw that.
It's also funny though because like now everyone is trying to be like a sleuth. Be like, wow, there's too much space between these two characters in this scene. I bet you they digitally edited out someone there. There's 3 people that it could be. And then
Oh, actually, that was probably the one thing that I probably agree with.
yeah,
Yeah,
I just
because
well,
that's like a hero shot, right? With the like of the team
it could just be that they're far apart.
just segregating Rhodey.
Yeah, well, Mark Ruffalo is beside him. They're like side by side. Like it's
Oh,
only
I
for
see.
like
Gotcha.
a few frames that you see them separate. Anyway, yeah, I liked it. I mean, I this they don't need to show me any footage. They already have my money. Like I'm going to go see this.
Yeah.
So
Like honestly, they could have stopped showing stuff back in like November.
they didn't even have a trailer in November. So there you go.
Yeah,
Is that what you mean?
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I get that they have to release a trailer for people like my dad who doesn't know when it's coming out,
Mm-hmm.
but
But it's fine. They
but
even in
for
the
me, they
trailer.
could just be like, "It's coming out in April," and be like, "Oh, okay."
What's the date? 7th, 4th.
I think it's towards the end of April because it used to be May, right?
Right.
I think it's
Birthday
like
movie.
24th or something. Did you see the Hobbs and Shaw trailer?
Oh, I'm so excited for that movie. It looks like everything that Fast and Furious was never meant to be. If you look at the first movie.
Remember when they used to steal DVD players?
And now they're saving the world.
They're fighting superhumans now. Oh my gosh, it's
Oh,
so funny. The trailer itself was just like so long and weird.
but like
How
it's
long it
the
was, but
entire trailer was just like awesome, start to finish.
yeah, that movie looks really fun.
They drift under a truck to
Uh-huh.
pass by it.
I think at that point though, it's kind of like, just by the way, we are still doing car stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
But it's funny because like you look at that and it's like, I don't know, like a decade ago, and it's like, whoa, that's a wicked stunt. But now it's just like, yeah, that makes sense. That's a very tame stunt for this movie.
I
What
don't even
else you
know if it's
got?
a stunt. Like, cause I don't know if you can do that.
Well, all right.
Like,
Maybe stunt's not the right word, but like for like an action
like
scene,
a
like
gag or
yeah,
whatever, right? Yeah, but yeah, I don't think that's a real stunt. I think that's all CGI.
yeah, CGI,
Okay.
whatever. You can't tell.
No. I really like it. I like Hobbs, I like Shaw. I think it's kind of funny that they're, like, forced together because I don't know.
Weren't they friends by the end of the last movie?
I hope not because I can't remember, but, like, he murdered his friends. Like Shaw murdered some of Hobbs' friends. I don't think there's any going back from that. As much as they wanna be like, "We're the odd couple and we kinda love to hate each other." You know, like, he's all refined and I'm a mess. Like I don't think there's gonna be like a, "You know what? I hate your guts, but I'll be damned if I don't respect you." I don't know if there's gonna be that because I don't think you can come back from, "You killed my partner." Like, you killed
Yeah,
that
but like, who's gonna remember that? It's been like 3 movies.
don't you remember at the end of, Tokyo Drift?
Yeah,
Didn't he kill Han?
yeah. Again, Tokyo Drift was like what? That was
I
like
guess
5 movies ago.
Hobbs and Han were never that close. "I'm coming for you, Toretto." That's my Jason Statham.
It's pretty good.
"Oh, I'm gonna get you, Hobbs. I hate this guy." Now he's Australian. I always lose my accents.
You notice that Jason Statham hasn't changed his like appearance since he debuted in Transporter?
Yeah, pretty much. He always looks the same.
Yeah.
The
Was
Rock
he?
has only gotten bigger and less hairy.
Oh yeah, yeah. He did have hair.
Yeah.
Lost a fanny pack too.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you excited?
Yes.
I'm
Huh.
excited for this
It
movie.
it's terrible. Like, I'm more excited about this movie than like Captain Marvel and Avengers right now.
Yeah.
Just because like I just came away from that trailer.
It just looks so fun. It's so dumb.
That
I
elevator
can't
scene.
yes. It's just oh my
Yeah,
gosh. I can't
it's gonna
believe
be
they're
good.
like Idris Elba would have been enough, but they're it's like, no, he's bulletproof and really strong too. I guess
Oh,
they'd have to like
you imagine like a few movies down the line, they have cars that transform.
I mean, where are they gonna go after this? They're fighting
You ever
superhumans.
see Power Rangers? The
Yeah.
Megazords? Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna fight monsters. But you fucking start moving on to kaiju.
Hobbs and Shaw too. They fight Godzilla.
Yeah, you don't know that the universe is actually tied.
All right. One more trailer, then we'll get to these movies we're gonna talk about today. The Shaft trailer. Did you watch the Shaft trailer?
Yeah, it was good. I don't know,
The
like, I don't know enough about Shaft, but, like, just Sam Jackson in that sold it for me.
Okay, you have to understand because you haven't seen the first Shaft.
I have not.
This movie came out maybe 20 years ago or
Uh-huh.
something like that. It was based off of a old 70s
Was it
TV
Sam
show.
Jackson as well?
No, the guy who plays the grandpa was
Yeah.
the original Shaft in the TV show, but
Ah.
Sam Jackson played him in the movie. And so in the original movie, it's so dark and so serious. Christian Bale plays like a racist in it.
Makes sense.
It is just like a crime thriller
Yeah.
where like Shaft is still the same character, but it's like the tone is completely different. It's so just imagine that going into this trailer, you're expecting like the dark sequel.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what? Really? There's a John Shaft Jr. And then like as the trailer continues, you're just like, oh, okay, they're going for a completely different thing now.
Yeah.
Like it's comical, like how badass he is. Like, I get it. Okay.
See,
So
if I watched that,
I'm on board.
I went in thinking that, like, "Oh, based off that trailer, I guess the first Shaft was, like, a comedy or an action adventure comedy."
No. So now yeah, so now he's basically his character from the other guys.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Where's that come out?
I don't know. I just heard of it. And that's the thing too, is I saw set photos for it. I think the trailer came out today, and I saw set photos for it yesterday.
Mhm.
And so I saw that set photos of them all wearing the same like red trench coat. I was just like, "What
That
is
looks
this? Like this
freaking
is."
hilarious.
But then you watch the trailer and you're like, "Oh, okay. I got I see what you're doing." I love the line at the end where he's like talking to his dad. He's
Mhm.
just like, "Oh, were you in a knife fight back here?" He's like, "No, I shot the guy."
I
Don't
do like
worry.
that.
Yeah. Looks funny. Looks
Mhm.
good.
I'm excited.
Yeah, that was not on my radar at all. And now it's just like, oh, well, I'm gonna have to go see that.
Yeah. Trailers working their magic.
Yeah. Well,
Now you got?
that's all I got for now. Well, should we get into the topic of the week, Victor?
Yeah. Let's do
What are we talking about this week?
this week I watched
I watched it too.
Unbreakable. Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Okay, that was my next question. Unbreakable and Split.
that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Do you want to just do like a quick? Well, tell you what. Did you like Unbreakable?
I did.
Did you like Split?
No.
I liked them both. I liked Unbreakable far more than I liked Split.
Yeah. You know what?
Okay, now we can go into spoilers.
That's your non-spoiler review.
Yeah.
Did you like it? Yes. No. Moving on.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Do you want to do Unbreakable first?
yeah. Let's do Unbreakable. So Unbreakable follows
David
shit.
Dunn.
David Dunn and I'm trying to go. Mr. Glass.
Elijah Price was his name.
That's a terrible name. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I got. I'm done.
That's it? Okay, so
Yeah.
David Dunn is the sole survivor of a horrific train crash, and he is miraculously unharmed.
Well, technically, someone else survived.
Well, yeah, but he died like
You know
within
what,
minutes.
Josh? That's not the point. He made it out.
But he's the sole survivor. Like just because they go to the hospital doesn't make them a survivor. They go to the hospital and survive, then they're a survivor.
But he's technically second place.
Yes. Yes, Victor. I guess so. Congratulations. You
Thank you.
bested me in words.
Damn right I did.
Anyway, so he is the sole survivor of a horrific train crash, and he has no scratches on him,
Mhm.
doesn't break a bone.
No.
and some would say that he's unbreakable.
Dang it, Josh, I was gonna make that joke.
So anyway, he is contacted by this man called Elijah Price,
Hmm.
who has this insane theory that he is actually, a special person who is unbreakable, and he should investigate that.
Hmm.
So he's asking him questions like, "Have you ever been sick before?" Or "Have you ever been in an accident?" Or something. "Have
Hmm.
you ever been hurt?"
Yeah,
Basically.
and it's funny because Elijah Price would be the opposite of what he's looking for in this unbreakable person, where he has a disease where makes all of his bones super brittle,
Yes.
so he basically breaks bones
Yeah. At this point, he
constantly.
he had 24 breaks in his life or something like that.
Hmm.
Kids called him Mr. Glass.
Hence why he has a glass cane, which is also, by the way, a terrible idea.
For someone who falls a lot. Yeah. Yeah, so that's that's basically it. Like, not a lot happens in this movie. It's a very slow burn,
Hmm.
and, going into it, I was kinda thinking about it, and I was like, "Oh, man, I forgot how much I liked it," basically. I was
Mm.
I was just thinking like, "Oh, man, it's really slow and not a lot happens in it." But I was watching it again, I was like, "I forgot how good this is, like, how enjoyable it is to watch the
Hmm.
mystery of it."
Well, like I went in and like obviously I know the premise of the movie just because it's been out for so long. People have talked about it, so like I kind of knew going in that like Bruce Willis's character Dunn was gonna have some kind of ability that allows him to be more durable than most people.
Mhm.
So like I was kind of expecting more explanation or more exploration on that topic, but like most of it is just him and Price going back and forth. Price saying like you have this ability, and him denying it,
Yeah.
and then he just kind of slowly investigates it on his own time.
Mhm.
But like never like a montage, like him going through a bunch of tests. It's just like
No,
little tidbits here and there sprinkled throughout like what, an hour and a half.
probably. Maybe
Yeah.
closer to 2 hours.
But like no, it was good. It was it's one of those superhero movies that like superhero is like the fourth genre that you would use to describe that
Yeah,
movie.
it's really interesting because you have to realize that when it came out in the year 2000.
Hmm.
If you think back to what kind of superhero movies were out then,
Batman,
yeah, it was Batman and Robin. I think the first X-Men movie had come out,
Robin.
and that was pretty much it. Like I think there was a Blade movie out, maybe Blade 2.
Oh. Hmm.
And so it's kind of interesting that it's like a deconstruction of a genre that wasn't really a genre yet. So,
Yeah.
like, nowadays, like, because the twist of the movie is, yeah, he has superpowers. But back then, that was like, "Oh my gosh, he has superpowers." But now it's like, "Yeah, I figured that out, like, in the first 10 minutes." Like, but back when this movie came out, it was
Hmm.
like, that wasn't a common thing
Yeah.
for a movie to talk like, to deconstruct superpowers and talk about superheroes in a realistic way.
Hmm.
But
And I like that like he doesn't get dressed up for it. They don't play it up the superhero portion of it at all.
no.
It's then the furthest they gone was at one point he's kind of testing with his son, see how much he could bench or how strong he was.
Mhm.
And they just kept adding weight, but like his son just kept adding weight without telling him how much he put on. At one point they got to like what, 350?
I think that was the end.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he was like he was telling his son, it's like, whoa, don't do that. That's unsafe.
Yeah.
I kinda like that, and it wasn't like him fucking in a back alley just beating down brick walls or, like,
Yeah.
throwing cannonballs, you know?
Well, yeah, and I really like to jump way ahead. I really like that the moment that he really decides, "Oh, man, maybe Elijah is right," is when he goes to the actual like, the wreckage of the train crash, and he sees, like, how terrible the train has actually been, like, ripped in half and stuff, and he's like, "How did I get out of this
Mhm.
without it?" And then that's when he realizes
Oh, maybe there is
that
something
maybe I
there.
am unbreakable.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, he said the name of the movie.
what did you think of Bruce Willis, I guess?
Actually, I had a bunch of, like, positives and negatives about this. One of them was
Sure.
actually Bruce Willis. Like, he's not playing Bruce Willis. Like, he's not at the point in his career where he just
He
doesn't.
still cares about the
Yeah.
movie he's in?
He
Yeah.
does. So, like, I don't know, he's very somber. Is that the right word for it?
Yeah, I think everybody is somber. I was noticing there's not a single character in this who is, like, funny. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Like, there's no, like,
Yeah.
not that you need a quirky sidekick or anything like that, but there's never anyone, like, who just
No
says
one
dumb things or
Yeah.
whatever, like,
No one in
everyone.
there in that movie is excited about life.
No. Which is weird because you got Samuel L. Jackson, who has been yelling in movies for 45 years, and he doesn't ever raise his voice in the entire movie.
And that was one of the highlights for me, the fact that, like, Bruce Willis was acting and Sam Jackson wasn't Sam Jackson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that like I don't like those characters, but like I feel like I've seen enough of it, so it's kind of nice going back to those kind of roles for them.
Mhm. It's interesting too looking at this movie from like because this is a M. Night Shyamalan movie. Both of
Hmm.
these movies are. It's interesting looking at where he was as an artist in this movie and like comparing it later on to Split because in this movie he's still very artistic.
Hmm.
Like I don't know how much you notice like the camera work in this movie. I don't know how much you notice that kind of stuff.
I notice it when it's like when I'm really paying attention for it.
So this one, I call it like a voyeuristic camera. Like it's like you are a person just kind of watching and you're not they don't really know you're there as the camera.
Hmm.
And so like he moves the camera around where it'll be like the opening scene is one long shot of Bruce Willis talking with some girl on the train. And
Oh
it's
yeah,
just the
yeah, yeah.
camera is just going like you're in the seat ahead of them and you're just kind of looking through the seats at them and then you'll shift the camera as each person talks and
Yeah,
stuff
I
like
noticed
that.
that. Yeah, yeah. So
And
like,
so and then there's other shots where it's like you are over in another room and they're off in the background talking, and
hmm,
you're just kind of
yeah,
you're focused on that, but really you're like 2 rooms away from them.
yeah. But you can still hear them talking as if they're like right next to you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like those shots. I think they're pretty neat.
Yeah, and then so M. Night doesn't do that again in, Split, but
He does actually.
he does?
Yeah, the camera going back and forth.
Well, he does yeah, towards the end of the movie, right? Or
Yeah,
did you notice it earlier?
definitely just in the begin or at the end.
Yeah, because that was something I guess we'll get to when we talk about
Yeah,
Split, but yeah, I really liked the camera work he does, and that was kind of it was also he did a similar thing in Sixth Sense as well.
Sixth Sense I haven't seen. Is that the same kid from Sixth Sense?
No, it's the same Bruce Willis though.
Huh.
Did you notice his use of color?
It's very muted.
Yeah, for the most part, except
Hmm.
for when bad guys showed up, right?
Yeah.
Did you notice though that Elijah, he had a bright purple inlay to his coat, and so it was like he was hiding being a bad guy?
Didn't think about that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
noticed that every time there was like a guy that was like a focus, because like at one point Dunn goes to like a train station after he talks to Price about potentially having superpowers. Like, oh, what should I do next? What would you suggest I do?
Yeah.
So he goes to like a train station, and basically just kind of stands there and kind of lets people brush up against him.
Oh, that yeah, we should, clarify. As well as being unbreakable, he also has this they call it an instinct in the movie, but really it's a superpower, and so
Hmm.
when certain people touch him, he can see the bad things that they have done,
Yeah,
and so that yeah, so
they
that's
didn't
why he
really.
goes to a
Yeah,
train station.
the one thing I was kind of confused was like they never really clarified if it was like those are things that they've done recently or those are things they're about to do, or they could be things that they've done years ago. Because well, yeah, there's
It
at one point there's a woman that brushes by him in the police station, and it shows her stealing like a bracelet from like a glass cabinet.
uh-huh.
And then at one point there's another one. Actually, the guy he goes after, the janitor that brushes up against him.
Mhm,
But you know this is recent because like prior to that scene, you see the janitor knocking on some dude's door
mhm,
and basically saying like, "I want your house. Like I like your house. You have a
mhm.
very nice house. I'm coming in." And then you don't see anything else after that. So you assumed that that was
Before.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it was always what they've done and not I don't think it was ever a premonition
Because
of what was to come.
like I did now what that's kind of why I noticed like, oh, it seems like every time you want to focus on someone, like they're the only ones wearing like color.
Mhm.
Like the lady was wearing like bright red, Janitor
Yeah.
was wearing bright orange.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked his use of color in this, but
Hmm. I think I don't know if there was a single character in here that I disliked or pulled me out of the movie because they were doing some unusual stuff. Like all the characters were believable in like their actions. There's at
yeah.
one point, I think it was after the first meeting with Price. Dunn goes to see him at his comic book something,
Yeah, his gallery.
yeah, with his son. And a few days later, his son pulls like a gun on him,
Yeah.
tries to like convince him that, like, yeah, Dad, you have superpowers. Let me shoot you. Like for sure, you'll live. This guy told me it's gonna it works.
Friends don't shoot friends, Joseph. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that was the only part that was like, maybe, but like, I don't know, as a kid, you want your dad to be the superhero, right? Like that's you wanna believe that.
well, also at that point, it's not just like, "Oh, my dad's unbreakable," and then the next day he pulls a gun on like, this is, like, towards the end of the movie, and, like, he's seen evidence, like, them lifting weights, and his
Mhm.
dad can lift 350 pounds.
Yeah,
Like, he's seen that by that point. I didn't like Joseph, but I think he's supposed to be annoying.
yeah. I think the one thing I got me was like the ending when Dunn after he like saves the family from that janitor,
Mhm.
he goes to tell Price kind of what happens. and at one point they shake hands, and finds out that Price was the one that kind of he's caused a bunch of disasters, including the train wreck,
Yeah.
in like hopes to find the Unbreakable Man.
Yeah.
But it doesn't never explain how did you convince the police or the authorities that like he did it?
Well, it just said he led the authorities there. So, like, for all he knows, like, I was there and I saw evidence that he may have caused this or something. Like, I don't think he explain I don't think he says, "I have a superpower and I can see what people can do." And
No, that's the thing. Like, how do you like? There's no evidence there. Well, they don't show anything, which is
yeah, that I get what you're saying. It
Mhm.
is a little unbelievable, like, because the police couldn't just be like, "Well, based on your
Vision
like, well,
and
even if he lied and said, "I saw some stuff in
yeah,
his place," like, it's like, we can't just get a warrant and look into his place.
yeah. I feel like there's a whole other like act in that movie for that, but
Yeah. I really liked the ending, though. Did you like it?
yeah.
Did you see that coming?
Honestly, no. I honestly when we like well halfway through the movie, I was like, "Ah, maybe the unbreakable part is just like a coincidence, and it's not really a superpower more, so just like
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking about. Like, superhero wasn't the first thing that came to mind. Because like even when he's rescuing that family, like, he doesn't do anything that's like supernatural or extraordinary.
Except for, like, taking a beating towards the end, but yeah. But I meant, did you see coming that, Elijah was a bad guy?
Oh, I mean, no, not really.
No?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
want to
good.
say no because like I was at there was a feeling that was like there's got to be like a villain in this somewhere, especially because he's all talks about it, you know.
Mhm.
But didn't really expect the whole like sabotaging all these like disasters. Yeah, overall, I'm pleasantly surprised about this movie.
I just noticed this, it's, like, just a quick note. The end of the movie, when, Bruce Willis goes to see Price, and it's at, like, his gallery, and he's having a show,
Hmm.
and he talks with his mother.
Yeah,
His mother says, "You can always tell the villain because they have really big eyes." And Samuel L. Jackson has very big eyes.
yeah.
And I was like, "Ooh, was that on purpose, do you think,
Hmm.
or not?" Because like, I don't know. And then the last thing I wanted to say, did you like the score? Like the music?
I actually didn't notice it.
Oh, I found it well, it's a really beautiful score, but a lot of times it didn't match what was on screen.
Hmm.
Like, it feels like it felt like a score that would be for, like, a cowboy movie or something like that. Not like a bow, 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 like, but just like, that, like, kind of period romance drama or whatever, and then
Interesting.
there would be real moments of, like, somberness on screen, and the music would be like, "Ma-na-ma,
I didn't notice that actually.
ma-na-ma." Yeah. I really liked it, though. I really liked the score. I ended up just listening to it after the movie. But yeah,
There's something else I wanted to mention from this. I can't remember
well,
it
do
now.
it, Victor. Mention it.
I can't remember it. It's kind of funny.
Hmm.
Price like spends his entire life, well, his most of his adult life. I'm assuming based on what they've presented, just searching for this superhero.
And reading comics.
Yeah, but like imagine you spend all that time just to find out that you're the villain.
Well, that was the thing. That was his whole arc, was because as David's walking away, he's like, "Now that we know who you are, I know who I am," with tears streaming down his face.
Yeah, but who
He's like, "I
just
am the villain. I have a part to play." I think that's what it was.
mm, just like wouldn't that be disappointing? It's like yeah, what? I'm the bad guy. Come on.
I really liked, again, I just wanna go back to, like, the artistic part of M. Night, because I just thought of this, but every time they introduced Elijah at the different ages,
Mhm.
like, so, like, when they start the movie with him as a baby, and then they do a flashback scene when he's, like, maybe like 10 or something like that.
Are you gonna mention purple?
What's that?
Are you gonna mention purple?
Well, there's purple because that's his color, but every time it's a reflection. So the first one is a mirror, and the second one, you're seeing him through a reflection in a TV screen,
Mhm.
and then the third one is when he's an adult. It's the reflection on the comic book cover, like as he's selling it to somebody,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh,
and
that's
so
the sketch, right? Yeah, yeah.
it's like hinting at it. It's just like he's the opposite, like he's the reflection of Bruce Willis, because it's always, you always cut to him from Bruce Willis, and you see like
Oh,
him
really?
reflected.
I didn't
I mean,
notice that.
I'm reading into it, but
Yeah.
um, yeah,
Anything else?
yeah, I liked it. Did you like the scene with his mom in the when she gives him his first comic book?
Yeah, well, like, the fact that she left it across the street, trying to
Yeah,
convince him to go outside.
yeah,
Yeah, I like that. It was very nice and touching.
yeah. And I remember thinking, like, while I was watching, I was like, that's a mom,
Mhm.
because like, it's like tough love, but at the same time, it's like, I'm doing this for you because she even gives him a speech that like, if you choose to be afraid right now, you're gonna be afraid for the rest of your life.
Hmm.
You're never gonna come back from this. At 10 years old, like that's
Good time to have
and then it's just like, so I got
it.
you a comic book.
Hopefully, this doesn't turn you into a
Kids
villain or
call me
anything.
Mr. Glass because I break like glass. I really liked this movie.
That still sucks though. Imagine like, I want to find this hero. Wait, I'm the bad guy? Come
You're
on!
still on that?
No, it'd be so depressing.
I don't know. I think he accepted that a long time ago when he was just like, maybe if I just start causing accidents, I'll find him faster.
After the first one's like, oh shit, I killed a lot of people. Damn.
So would you watch it again?
100%.
Does this make you at all excited for Glass?
Not really.
No?
No.
I was really pumped for Glass after watching
Oh,
Unbreakable.
really?
Yeah.
Well, let's get into Split, and I'll tell you why I'm not excited for Glass.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I was also like, as soon as Split was done, I was like, never mind.
I don't know. There's, you know what? I like James McAvoy. I don't like him in this role. Like even just, I think I told you like a while back. It's just, even before I saw the movie, I was just like, I don't like him in the trailers.
Okay.
I don't like majority of the way he's presented in his different personalities. Like there's one character that I like that he
Okay.
does. The rest of it's just, I don't know, just annoying for me. I don't have like a logical explanation of why I find it annoying, but like I just don't like.
Because it's too much acting for you.
Maybe.
Does it feel like he's like, I'm acting right now?
Yeah, it feels
I'm
like
acting my butt off. Are you watching? I'm acting. Is that it?
that might be why actually.
Okay.
But I don't know. Like there's things in this movie that I do like.
Do you just want to do this synopsis real quick? For
Yeah, sure.
Split?
So follows three girls, Casey, girl 1 and girl 2. I don't remember their names.
White girl and black girl.
um it starts off with girl 1. She's invited Casey and a bunch of other girls from her art class to a birthday party.
Mhm.
They leave the birthday party and they get their car. Well, they're in the car. The father's packing out the trunk, and James McAvoy's character, Kevin? Is he?
Yes, Kevin was his actual name.
Yes, Kevin is James McAvoy's actual character. And then all of his other personalities have different names. But for the sake of keeping things clear, I'm just going to call it Kevin for
Sure.
now.
You can just call him James McAvoy too.
So they get chloroformed or knocked out or
Yeah.
something, spray something in their face. And they wake up in what looks like the big old dungeon.
Mhm.
And story follows these three girls trying to escape, and at the same time, they're kind of filling in little story details with Kevin's character and
Yeah, well, because Kevin has DID.
yes, dissociative identity disorder.
Yeah, so he has 23 different personalities.
Mhm.
And so that makes the whole thing, like the whole kidnapping, a little unique
Yeah.
because there's certain personalities that are like for it, and there's others who are like not so sure about it.
Mhm.
And as the movie goes on, they're also hinting at there's maybe a 24th personality called the Beast
Mhm.
that is coming. And
Yeah.
the reason why these girls were kidnapped because they're going to be fed to him.
Mhm. Which is kind of strange when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's like what? Just prepare your body to consume another human being. But what's kind of cool is that like his therapist or his specialist that is working with him on this personality disorder.
Hmm.
She kind of goes at one point and talks about how people with this kind of disorder are almost like metahumans in the fact that like the way their personalities change their minds and their physical bodies. Like I think at one point Barry is one of the different personalities. He has like an insulin problem, not insulin problem.
No, it wasn't Barry. It was, can't believe I remember this. It was a personality called Jade, who's probably late teens, early 20s girl.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. But she needed insulin. I
Yeah,
remember 'cause you only ever see her in the video testimonials
yeah.
later. There's
There's only like four
four that you
personalities.
really see.
Yeah,
There's Dennis. He's OCD, and he's kind of
the head
the
honcho of it.
yeah, he's the main guy. He's the one who kidnapped them. He's the one who's really looking after them. And Miss Patricia.
Oh, I couldn't remember their names, so this is kind of what I called them. Dennis, I called him OCD Angry Magneto.
All right.
Who was the lady?
Miss Patricia.
Creepy Miss Doubtfire. was the little kid personality?
Hedwig.
Hedwig. You notice he was dressed in X-Men colors?
No.
Baby McAvoy.
Baby Mac. What? All right. Yeah, so those were the main
And then
3. Then there
who's
was Barry,
yeah,
who is
Fashionista Barry.
yeah, who is gay, or at least a very effeminate.
He's a fashion designer.
Yeah. Although, spoilers, it's not really Barry that we see. And then the Beast is the last one we see. There's this whole subplot which didn't really work for me in hindsight. It works the second time you see it,
Mhm,
but the therapist keeps getting emailed for emergency sessions with James McAvoy.
mhm,
So then Barry shows up to the sessions to be like, "I'm totally fine. I was just, I just had a moment of weakness and I emailed you. So I just thought I'd come and say I'm fine."
mhm,
And so there's 2 or 3 of these, and each time she's like, "Are you Barry? Are you sure you're not one of the other ones?"
mhm.
And then she eventually manages to get Dennis to admit that he's pretending to be Barry.
Yeah.
And so for me, that didn't really work because you don't really know Barry or Dennis at that point.
Oh, to, like, be able to tell that he's lying and putting
Yeah,
on an
to be
act for
like,
her?
"Oh, is it?" You know what I mean? Because it's just
Mhm.
like, how does she know that? But watching it a second time, you notice that when Barry walks around in her apartment, he's always fixing things.
Ah,
And,
okay.
like, he's always rearranging stuff, and at one point, he even wipes his nose with the yellow cloth, that Dennis has to so
Mhm.
that he doesn't have to touch things.
Yeah,
So, that didn't work for me the first time because I was just like, "Well, that kinda came out of nowhere." And, like,
yeah.
how was I supposed to know that Barry wasn't Barry?
Yeah, because I don't know, I was thinking about it because like, it'd be kinda nice if it was, like, if in this movie that you couldn't really tell when he was switching personalities, and, like, he kinda always kept you on your feet. It's like, "Oh, is this Barry? Is this Dennis? Is this Miss Doubtfire?"
Sorry, you're saying that you wish you couldn't tell?
I wish I could tell, but not so obviously. Like, whenever he switched personalities, he switched his outfit too, right?
Well, yeah, but he also switches his stance and his
Mhm.
status and
Yeah,
stuff like that, and I really liked James McAvoy, so I disagree with you on that. I understand what you're coming from,
yeah,
though, where I could see where it could be like, "Yeah, I get it." But I think he makes the movie, otherwise, it's just kind of like a generic horror movie to
yeah.
me, if it wasn't for his performance.
And, like, Casey's the only other Casey's, like, one of the girls. She's, like, the quiet s
She's the
student.
main girl.
Yeah, she's, like, the only other character that really gets any development in this.
Mhm,
Like, it kinda you get flashbacks of her childhood throughout the movie, and you basically find out that her dad, and her uncle used to go on hunting trips. Her dad used to, like, teach her how to hunt and stuff,
mhm.
but then you find out that her uncle used to, like, sexually molest her or something along
Probably, it's
those
heavily
lines.
implied, yeah,
Yeah, at one point, he's, like, naked. He's like, "Well, animals don't wear clothes. Time to take off your clothes."
yeah,
But then her dad dies, and she's forced to live with her
the
uncle,
uncle.
which is, like, pretty shitty.
Yeah, so she obviously has some trauma, and that's something I found really interesting about her because like any other movie,
Mhm.
the one of the other 2 girls would be like the survivor girl, right?
Yeah,
Because they
because
were
they're
innocent. That was the whole point of
mhm,
why they were chosen, was that they were innocent girls, and so they were very nice and very normal,
mhm.
very realistic girls, and it's just kind of cool, like, they twist it and flipped it on his head that
These aren't
the
gonna be the ones that survive.
no, and, like, the survivor girl is the one who actually has survived something before,
Mhm.
so I really liked that,
Yeah.
and, like, she was there even towards the end of the movie, like, the beast has her in his sights, and he's going to kill her, and then he notices all these scars that she has on her from trauma,
Mhm.
and he's like, "Oh, you have felt pain too," or whatever, I can't
Yeah.
remember what he says, but he's just, "It's glorious!" He does that, lost me. The beast sucked. But anyway, so he purposely goes away from her because he sees, "Oh,
Mhm. He, like, lets her live.
you
Yeah.
have been touched too, like, you have been in
Both
pain."
figuratively and literally.
Yeah, that's a bad choice of words.
Actually, I don't know. I can't remember who the girl who played Casey was, but I think her story was probably like the highlight of this movie for me because like I really liked her character. I liked how she analyzed the whole situation. Like throughout the entire movie, like the other two girls are kind of trying to like basically everything within hand's reach to get out of that place, which is
Mhm.
understandable because given that situation, like being like what 17 years old, like
Yeah.
every possible chance you try to go. But it's funny because like every time they tried something, it got worse for them because they got ended up getting separated from their group
Mhm.
to the point where like it was just the three of them in separate rooms.
And it's not that she doesn't want to escape, but it's like she knows that she has to choose her moments,
Yeah.
right? And so it's she notices that Hedwig, who is a 9-year-old boy,
Mhm.
she can manipulate him and she can lie to him. And so he says something about how he has a CD player that's by the window in
Yeah.
his room. And so she's like, "Oh, maybe I can use that." And
Yeah.
so it's not just like, "Oh, well, maybe we can tunnel through the wall or something." Like
Mhm.
she's very calculated in the way that she
Yeah.
tries to
'Cause I
escape.
think she knows she's outclassed here and basically has to
Mhm.
find she only has, like, one opportunity.
And again, I think it's because she has been a victim before. She knows
Mhm.
that, like,
Yeah, because I think the first time it stood out for me was that they were all like, the 3 of them were the first time they were in that room, they were trying to figure out a way out, and Casey says, like, "We don't even know what we're dealing with here. Like,
mhm,
let's don't do anything stupid. Let's figure this out
yeah.
first."
And then she has a cool idea because Dennis pulls the one girl out, and she gets away for half a second and runs over to Casey, and Casey says, "Pee on yourself."
Yeah.
And then he pulls her out again, and then so he ends up throwing her back in because she did pee on herself, and so it's, again, one of those things, like, he's not gonna abuse
Yeah.
you if you stink like urine, or, like, she already noticed that he had OCD, so
Mhm.
he's, like, not gonna be able to handle
I didn't
a
catch
spill.
that the first time, but, like, the first time you see Dennis, he pulls a chair into the room, and he, like, dusts it off with, like, this yellow handkerchief that he had.
Mhm. Yeah, what did you think of the therapist?
Oh, I called her, Cruella.
Yeah,
She's dressed like it.
that's true.
I don't know, she's fine.
She's really just a plot device, right? She's just
Yeah.
there to explain why he's the way he is and, like, how his brain works, right?
Mhm, for us, 'cause,
Yeah. 'Cause
she honestly, she doesn't really she does one thing kinda nice that kind of, like, helps Casey later on, but, like, yeah, otherwise, she's, like, aside from a plot device, like, she doesn't really do much. Like, Barry, like, I don't think we ever see the real Barry.
he is there for half a second when, because the therapist, she establishes this rule. I don't know why it works this way, but if you say Kevin's full name,
Mhm.
which is Kevin Wendell Crumb,
Yeah,
if you say his full name, it'll become chaos in his brain, and they'll all be fighting for control of the body.
yeah.
And so there is, like, a few seconds where you see the real Barry. He talks to
Mm,
her through that, and before I think Hedwig takes over.
gotcha. But, like, Barry, I'm assuming he is against it, against the whole kidnapping thing because he's the one that emails Cruella, like,
Mhm.
"Hey, we need to talk, like, something's happening." But he's never specific, and that bothered the crap out of me. Because at one point, he sends, like Cruella looks at her email, and she has, like, I don't know, like, a full page of emails from
Yeah, like
Barry.
40
Yeah,
emails.
it's like, okay, instead of sending 40, what if you just wrote one relatively detailed email and just send that off?
Yeah, I don't
I
know
I
how
think
that
that was the
works.
only thing that was, like, that stood out to me.
I would agree with that.
But at one point, when she goes to visit after, like, that 40 spam email barrage that she got from Barry, she decides to go check out the place. Yeah, she just plays it off. She's like, "Oh, like, I'm just checking on you, make sure you're alright." And, before she leaves, she, like, stuffs, like, a handkerchief into, what's that hole that the door lock goes into?
I don't know what you would call
Whatever.
that,
It, like,
but
stuffs it into the hole in the door so that, like, the door doesn't fully engage when it's closed,
yeah.
so you can still push it open. I don't know why she did that because that seems like a very random
Yeah,
thing to do from her point of view.
just in case things go south and he tries to lock me in this room,
Yeah.
like, that's weird to think.
Well, I think
Uh,
she was kind of already, like, suspicious because, like, the first time you see her, it's right after a shot of the TV news saying that, like, 3 girls have been kidnapped.
that's true. And she has also outed Dennis at this point and got him to admit that he is pretending to be Barry.
Yeah.
So she knows something is up.
Yeah.
And that there is a reason that Barry or one of the other personalities had emailed her, and Dennis is pretending to be
Mhm.
Barry.
And, she goes to use the bathroom, pretend to go use the bathroom, and she finds a room that's locked, and inside is girl number 1,
Yeah,
and she's
blonde
freaking
girl.
out. Yeah. And then Dennis, like, knocks her out with his random pocket spray. Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's very mysterious and strange.
Yeah, it's weird that you like, it's one thing to get chloroform as the chemical, but it's weird that you could buy it in an aerosol.
Yeah, I don't imagine just like it just runs out and just spraying with an empty bottle. But she wakes up and she starts I guess she's still kind of under the influence of the drug and she starts scribbling down um on a piece of paper just on his desk.
Say his name.
Kevin, yeah, say Kevin Wendell Crumb or like say his name in hopes that someone is there that's gonna see it.
Yeah, her whole thing was just she's just there to explain things. And
Yeah.
one thing I did like, because I've been complaining about it for the past 2 weeks, about people who aren't real,
Mhm.
the 2 girls that were with Casey, the fact that they invited her to the birthday party
Yeah.
was very realistic.
Yeah.
Like, the reason why. And so, basically, the girl is talking with her dad, and he's just like, "Well, why don't you go over and talk to her or whatever?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm not friends with her." He's like, "Well, why didn't you invite her?" And it's just like, "'Cause it would be rude to invite everyone in my art class except for her."
Yeah.
And then he's just like, "Oh, okay." And so it's like, yes, that's exactly how people are. Like, she would still invite her, but she wouldn't feel obligated to not talk crap about her,
Yeah.
you know? Because then they do that. Then she just starts telling her dad all the rumors about her.
Mhm. How she
And
used to, like, cause trouble in class
yeah,
just for no reason. Yeah.
yeah. What did you think about the whole Dennis kept getting them to take their clothes off?
That was kinda strange,
Because
but it was only
I
yeah.
get that it's like he has kind of a fetish,
Mhm.
and like he's using like he
The fetish is that, like, he likes watching naked girls dance.
yeah, and they
Yeah.
said young girls, and I
Young
was like,
girls.
"That's," and, like, that was the whole thing. Was the therapist was like, You pushed him out so that he couldn't have control of the body because of that fetish," and it's just like, "That's not that weird." Like, who doesn't like to watch young girls dance? But then it's just like, "Wait, how young?" Um,
Like, 18 and over? Or is this
like,
17 and
what does
under?
young mean? Because I guess there is a line,
Yeah.
but anyway, I was also just thinking that from, like, a movie making standpoint, because I guess there's the whole thing of, like, later on, Casey has to get into a small enough top that you can see her scars,
Yeah.
but not be revealed to the right moment.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's like, why would you make the one girl not be wearing pants for half the movie, the other girl not wearing a top for half the
Well, it
movie?
was I think he did that because, like, he took clothes away from that were dirty.
Right.
So the first girl, she climbed into a vent and her sweater was ruined. So he asked her to take that off, and then all she was left was, like, a bra in her pants.
Mhm.
So
But it's I mean, and just from, like, an artistic standpoint, like, why would M. Night choose to do that?
mhm.
I guess maybe, like, you could see it as, like, they're now even more exposed and, like, more vulnerable,
Yeah,
you
I
know
was
what I
saying, like,
mean?
yeah, because you can say that, like, they're pretty much naked at this point, like, they have nothing, like, they have no tools, nothing.
Mhm.
But, I don't know, I think the one part that, like, yeah, really ruined it I like the build up to the beast, like, all the personalities talking about the beast coming and how it's gonna cleanse the world
Yeah, I don't know.
or something like that.
He's gonna show that we're real. So, yeah, so that's the whole thing with the DID thing. Like, the therapist is considered kind of a crackpot because she believes that the mind can actually tell the body how to work. And so people don't believe her when she says, "Oh, the Jade personality, she's diabetic, so she needs insulin."
Mhm.
Or, like, one of the examples, which wasn't one of McAvoy's personalities, but it was like it was a woman who was blind, but then 3 of her personalities could see, or something like that.
Sucks. And the beast is supposed to have this, like, supernatural, like,
Yeah,
hard skin and, like, the, like, crazy superhuman strength.
and can crawl on walls.
Mhm. Similar I think she referenced it, like, similar to, like, a professional rock climber who has, like, such crazy finger strength that he can basically, like, grip onto, like, almost nothing.
Yeah. Anyway, so the point of the beast coming was that he was going to prove that, and so that the world would not be able to deny them anymore,
Mhm.
that they are special or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
Yeah, so at one point, the beast kind of I think it's after he takes out Cruella. I feel bad, I feel like I should know the name for this.
I don't remember the therapist's name at all.
But you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say Cruella. You
Yeah.
got a good picture of her too if you haven't seen the movie.
Yeah.
After or Dennis goes out and pulls out the beast, he goes to like a train yard or whatever, buy some
Yeah, why
flowers.
did he have to go to a train yard to pull
Well,
out the personality?
I wonder if it's probably because I didn't pay attention enough to the movie, but like I feel like because he bought flowers and brought it to the train yard. I wonder if it's because like that's where he lost someone. Maybe you remember something about that?
The only thing I know about Kevin's personality, of why certain other personalities developed, is
Hmm.
because he had a terrible mom.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I know.
Never mind. Well, he goes to the train yard. The beast comes out, takes off his shirt, and he runs back home. And he kills
Yeah,
Cruella after she scribbles down his name. Yeah, he actually crushes her. He like hugs her. He bear hugs her to death.
which is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Cool death.
But at the same time, like before he does that, she like tries to stab him with his knife. And at one point, she looks down at the knife and it's like broken.
Yeah, she breaks the knife on his skin, and then later on, Casey fires 2 shotgun shots into him,
Mhm.
and it
and like
doesn't really affect him.
yeah, it like pushes him back a little bit, like the
Like, he does
recoil.
have wounds, but they're just, like, superficial,
Hmm.
right? Like, it's
Yeah, like
not like
all the shotgun pellets are on the surface.
yeah.
Nothing's like in. Yeah, so yeah, Beast comes back. He kills the other two girls, eats them,
Mhm,
and Casey ends up saying, "Oh yeah." So he goes after Casey next, but she's in the same room, finds the Kevin's real name scribbled down,
mhm.
and he's so excited that he starts climbing the walls because
Y
that's where he shows. And I was like, at that point, I was like, why?
just so that you could look around and see him climbing the walls?
You
Yeah, I don't
girls
know
are
why.
driving me up the wall.
Ah! I
um,
was only supposed to get 2 girls, and there's a 3rd!
but she says Kevin Wendell Crumb, and Kevin comes to, and he's like, "Whoa, where am I? What year is it?" And we find out that he's been like taken over for like 3 years.
That may be the answer to your question. I think he says something like, "The last I remember, I was on a train." I
Ah,
think that's what he
yes,
says.
yes, it was. He was on a train
Okay, so that may be why they go to the train to invite this new personality out.
to bring the beast.
Again, it didn't explain it. It didn't make any
Yeah,
sense, but
I feel like
this is
the
us
o-
connecting the dots after the fact. Did you see the twist coming? The twist being that this was a sequel to Unbreakable?
oh no,
No.
like I knew about it, but like at no point during that I would have guessed
No.
sequel to Unbreakable.
Yeah, that was the thing. The first time I saw it, because it gets to that scene, and then as we talked about earlier,
Hmm.
they start doing the voyeuristic camera
Yeah,
where it
so
keeps panning back and forth.
yeah, so he's in some kind of apartment taking the bullets out of his torso. There's two mirrors. There's one that's like a shaving mirror, and there's one that's like a
The big
bathroom
mirror,
mirror.
yeah,
So
the
he's
vanity
going,
mirror.
yeah. So it goes back and forth between the mirrors, and every time it goes back and forth, the different personality comes out.
And they're talking, and they're like, "Oh, finally, people are gonna see now."
Yeah.
And the Unbreakable theme starts playing while this is going, and then so I remember watching this for the first time and being like, "That theme sounds really familiar."
Mm.
And then finally they go to a diner, and it's like people are just watching the news about what happened,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh my goodness, this is kinda like that one guy who did all that, like, terrorist stuff. What was his name again? They gave him a weird name too." And then it pans over, and Bruce Willis is there, and he's like, "They called him Mr. Glass." And you're just like, "Oh. Oh, that's why that theme was familiar. That's the Unbreakable theme."
So what did you think of the movie, aside from the fact that you didn't like it?
Aside from the fact that I didn't like
Yeah.
it.
I don't like what else. Like anything else you want to toss in?
Well, I did like the movie. I just didn't like it as much as Unbreakable. Like, cause I like James McAvoy, and I didn't get that. I wasn't annoyed by his performance. I really liked it. I really liked all the little subtleties that he adds to each of his personalities as a different character.
Hmm.
So I did like it. It is kinda just without him in it, it's just a generic horror movie,
Yeah.
and,
Like without that
yeah,
gimmick.
and again, it doesn't have that M. Night Shyamalan artistic flair to it. Maybe that's just that he's evolved past that,
Hmm.
but
Doesn't need art to sell his movies.
yeah.
Just his name.
Yeah, I definitely like Unbreakable better, for
Yeah.
sure, but, Split is I didn't hate it, and that was the second time I saw it. I would probably watch it again at some point in my life,
I probably won't watch it again.
but it didn't get me excited for Glass, though.
No.
It had the opposite effect when I was like, "Eh, I don't know if these things are gonna fit together."
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I like David Dunn. I like his character. I like his quote unquote superhero costume, the raincoat.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Aside from that, I didn't care too much about
Elijah Price.
Elijah Price. I didn't care too much about him. So I don't know. Like one of three characters that I'm excited for.
Like I really like all 3 of them. I just am worried how they're going to fit together.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We're gonna watch Glass next week,
Yeah.
and so I'm excited about that ish.
I'm curious. I'm hoping.
I'm excited to go to the movies again. I miss the theater.
Actually, one thing I did like about the Beast. So at one point, Casey is being chased down by the Beast after Kevin, when he comes to his senses or come to his body, whatever,
Mhm.
tells her there's a shotgun in the cupboard and there's shells in his locker.
He's
But
just like, "Kill me."
yeah,
Yeah.
like take me out. I don't deserve this movie.
Or the
uh,
subsequent sequel.
so she runs to his locker and it's down this hallway, but she looks down the hallway and the beast is climbing on like the electrical conduits on the
Mhm.
ceiling. But as he's climbing, as he's like heading towards her, he's like busting lights out with his
Yeah.
fist, and it's such a cool shot. I don't know, like it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I really like that. It was creepy, but like mesmerizing to watch at the same time.
Mhm. Mhm.
But yeah, the all the shots of the Beast in Glass trailers, it's just him doing the Beast run from like the Beast from the X-Men, like the little
Oh,
like
yeah, the dog run.
yeah, and it just looks terrible.
It looks so silly.
Not I'm not
Uh,
excited, but I will watch it. I will watch it for you and for closure on Dunn's
yeah.
character.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, but anyway,
All right. Well, thanks again for listening, guys. This has been another episode of The Average Uninformed. Next week we'll talk about Glass.
will it shatter expectations?
Mm, oh god, I hope that joke's worse. I hope that joke is worse than the movie. But if you like this or have any comments, feel free to leave it in the comments. And if you want to get in touch with us, you can email us at averageuninformed@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how else to close. Bye.
Bye-bye.